What's up, everybody? This is Jackhammer2711 coming at you with yet another video review. And today what we're going to be taking a look at is the Masters of the Universe Classics Arrow action figure from Mattel. Arrow was first available, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was in the month of November, as part of your Club Eternia subscription. He was one of the quarterly items. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong. It may not have been November, but I think it was. Yeah, let's take a look at the packaging really quick so we can get into this guy. Take a look at him. Of course, Arrow does come in that bigger packaging from Masters of the Universe Classics. Of course, there you see his faction sticker with Princess of Power. His name, Arrow, a true blue horse, flies bow to victory. That just makes me shake my head. That's it's just ridiculous, but whatever. Of course, you do have your Masters of the Universe Classics logo there at the top of the packaging. It's that big packaging that we've gotten for the Beasts before you see the adult collector. Taking a look at the back of the packaging, Arrow does have his own bio. His real name's Arrow, so that at least they made that easy. If you want to read that bio, you can go ahead and pause the video and read it. Taking a look at some of the other figures that were available on the back of the packaging, you have Adora, Bo, Castaspella, Tall Star, Jewel Star, and Starla, and of course there, a nice image of Arrow on the packaging. Getting that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Arrow here. Arrow comes with a couple accessories. I consider them accessories because I just don't have enough room on my shelf for another steed with huge wings. But he does come with these wings that you can snap onto the figure and ultimately get a winged steed for Bo. Really nicely done wings. Now you see this sculpting detail here. Each of these feathers has those individually sculpted strands of feathers, and then of course the vein that goes up the feather itself right there. Of course in the alternating layers like you would see on a bird's wing, and they have the orange, kind of the pinkish, and the turquoise here. They come with these plugs here on the ends of them, and as you can see, one plug right here, it's kind of shaped in this manner, and the other is shaped in this manner with this little nub here on the end. That's so you can only put them on one side. You're not going to have any confusion about which side which wing goes on. They're designed to go on only one side of the figure. Moving those out of the way, I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't see anywhere on the figure where I can plug these wings into. Well, what they did, they have these pieces right here, and you just, man, they're tight. You just have to pop those out of there, and you can plug the wings into these holes. Once again, they do have the shape that way they only can go on one side or the other. One thing I've noticed, as you can see right there on the figure, this paint slop right here on the inside and right here, that was from putting and taking this on and off. So with the wings in, that's going to be obvious. I don't know if that's happening on all figures or if it's just on mine. Minor annoyance, but like I don't intend to display this figure with the wings, so it's not that big of a deal. But I could see how that would make some people upset, because if I was planning on displaying this guy with the wings, that would make me, that would be an annoyance to me. But taking a closer look here at Arrow, you can see just a great sculpt. Talking about Arrow for just a second, there were a lot of people that were just not really excited or happy to get this guy. And there were a lot of people who were really pumped about it. I would say I kind of fell in the middle there. He's a nice toy. Just based on the merits of this guy as an action figure or a steed for an action figure line, he is a great toy. He really is. He's well made. He's well designed. I mean, you can look at him. Look at the sculpt. I mean, this looks like a horse. It doesn't look like a toy horse from some fantasy line. It looks like a real horse. I mean, just taking a look at the head sculpt there, it's just really nice. You know, the eyes look really good. He looks like, I mean, you can see that sculpting detail of the veins in his snout right there. Looking at the sculpting detail on his legs, you can see the veins sculpting his body and his legs, just like a real horse would be. Down there to his hooves, he's got some nice details on the hooves. Look on the bottom of the hooves, they're really nicely sculpted with some cracks and like you would see an actual horse have. You know, the mane is very well done. It looks like a very well trimmed mane of a horse with some individual strands of hair. And when you look at the top, you can tell it looks like they've been cut. You know, you can see that this mane of this horse has been designed to look like it has been trimmed and cut in this shape. So it's really cool. The saddle's designed nicely. You can see the sculpting design in the saddle that it becomes clear that there's some texture there with the leather of the saddle. It's done really well, painted really well. The tail is awesome too. Just look at that, the individually sculpted strands of hair, this nice long bushy tail at the end of the horse, and again those sculpted veins in the sides and everything like that. And just coming around to this side, you see that continues on here. Really nice paint job. You can see here on the leg there's a nice wash to it that really brings out some nice sculpting detail and just makes him look really good. Just the merits of him of Arrow as a toy are really nice. It's a really nice thing. Having said that, there were some quarterly items that probably could have been released or put out that would have made much more sense than Bo's horse. It's just the way I feel. Whenever I heard this announced, I was like, oh, okay, we're going to get another steed. And then after I thought about it, I was like, well, man, there's just so much more stuff that could have been done as a quarterly item other than him, in which we don't really know what's coming next year. We know one of the quarterly items, the first quarterly item is going to ship in February, and that's the 2-pack of Snake Armor He-Man and Battle Armor King Hiss. And that's going to be really awesome. I can't wait for that. Multibot's going to be coming in the second quarter of 2015. I don't know what they've got intended for the last 2 quarters of 2015. Hopefully we'll see some of that revealed at Toy Fair upcoming here in a few weeks. But it's... Man, I just feel like there would have been something else they could have done other than Arrow. But having said that, just looking at the figure once again, he's got some nice painted details. You know, he's got this blue gem on the front of his head here that looks really nice. It's painted well. The paint work on here is done very nicely. As you can see, this part of his bridle here is part of the sculpt, but you can see the sculpting detail where it looks like actual leather. You know, it's worn that way. Coming around here to the side, all this again is part of the sculpt, but it's got like a nice little wash here where it brings out the stitching work in the sculpt. It is connected here to this piece. It does rotate, you know, along that area to you know, make it easier to pose a figure holding onto these reins here, if you or what have you. But the paint work's really nice. You know, he's got this nice orange mane here with a slight wash on it, just to kind of bring out some of that sculpting detail here and there. Again, that sculpting detail on the top is just really cool, and it's you can tell this isn't his natural mane growth. It's trimmed to look that way, and just that added detail makes it really nice. You know, he's got this piece here that goes around his neck. with another blue gem with the black background there on it, and more of that nice sculpting detail there along the leather. Really, really, really well done. You know, and then you come around to these pieces here. It's just made to look like an added part of the saddle with the blue gem in it right there. Of course, the plugs for where the wings go. Saddle looks really, really nice. I don't know if you can tell right here, but along this edge of the saddle here on this part, this is almost like a metallic brown right there. And then again on this edge of the saddle, this is like kind of almost a metallic pink coming around this edge of it. Just really, really nice paint detail. That metallic pink kind of comes over down around here around the stirrups too in this area as well. Just all that great sculpting of the veins and the legs, and that paint wash of this brown color is just really, really nice. And of course he did again the orange hooves. Just looking at his articulation, his head goes down about that far, up about that far. It does rotate somewhat this way from side to side, but not too much due to the sculpt and then the nature of the articulation. But it moves very, very well. The head here, there's an articulation point here for the head to go up about that far, and then it can look straight down like that. The tail, of course, is articulated. It goes up this far on a nice ratchet joint, and then down about that far, and it also does rotate all the way around on that joint. The legs are very well articulated. On the front, it has this articulation joint here that allows the legs to go that far forward, that far back, and then here the I guess you call that kind of the elbow of his leg. It does kind of go about that far back, then that far forward, but it also is on a rotation. You can kind of rotate it. You can see there side to side just slightly on both legs, this and this one. Also the ankle here, also it articulates about that far back, that far forward, and also slight rotation. Back legs are done in a very similar manner. They go back about that far, forward about that far. The elbow here in the back goes about that far forward, about that far back, and is also on that rotation joint, so you can get some rotation out of it there. And then same thing on the ankle. I guess you call it the ankle. It goes forward and back, and then some slight rotation at the bottom as well. So arrows, he's nice. Don't get me wrong. This might sound like I'm. Oops, man! Don't fall down, bro. This video may make it sound like I'm complaining about this figure. I'm really not complaining, because just based on his merits as a toy, he's really, really nice. I really do think there could have been something different they could have given us as a quarterly item that would have served to move the line forward a little bit better than Arrow did. But having said that, he is really, really, really nice. If you've got Swift Wind from before, you basically know what you're getting here. It's a reuse of the Swift Wind mold with a few slight differences. You know, of course, this will be a different piece. This will be a different piece. You know, with the head sculpt. This is added onto the sculpt here. Man, I cannot seem to get him standing up. That is one problem with him. As you can see from the front right here, these legs are so close together, it can be kind of hard to keep him standing. You just kind of have to find that sweet spot to keep him standing up. But of course the saddle's a new piece and things like that. But it's nice. It's another good steed, and you don't necessarily have to put Bo on him. You could put, you know, Adora or She-Ra or any of the other Princess of Power ladies, and it would work quite nicely for them. But this is Bo's horse, Arrow. Anyway. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys, everyone who's giving me views. I really have a good time doing this. So, guys, as long as you keep watching and subscribing and whatnot, I'll keep making them. This has been Jackhammer 2711, and as always, I will catch you on the flip side.